What's up, you guys? Welcome to Reed's Outdoors. And I got a great suggestion the other day through one of the videos. Somebody commented. And well, if you guys have been following me long enough, I love to bass fish, right? And if there's one thing that I love bass fishing with is worms. I love rubber worms. It's all I fished with when I was younger, when I was fishing with my grandfather and everything. And we used to go out and fish, and I've always fished with rubber worms. So I love them. And I've bought several different kinds over the years and tried just about every kind you can think of out there, from a 4-inch worm to one of those big old 10-inch worms to everything. And I got a great suggestion. Why not do my top 5 rubber worms that I use? My best top 5 that I love to use. And I know a lot of you guys, don't know really what color to use as far as which one's the best kind. Well, I'm going to tell you what kind that would be. Alright, so the first one we're going to start out with is by Zoom. Alright, and his Cotton Candy. Yes, Cotton Candy, I think. Yeah, this is a new pack, by the way. But anyways, this is Cotton Candy. That's what it says. And these are really good worms. These work really well in ponds, lake. I've caught bass everywhere I went with these. Especially back when... these are worms I've used for a long time. So, I wouldn't tell you that they are my favorite unless I've caught a decent amount of fish off of them. So, but I'll take it out and let you see what it looks like. And like I said, this pack hadn't even been opened yet. Hold on a second. Yeah, there we go. So anyways, I'm going to open up the pack here, and I'm going to show you what the worm looks like, just in case you don't know. But this is what it looks like. It's not a real big worm. It's not real big at all, but these are really great worms. I don't know what it is about the color. It's got a real weird color to it. It's like a clear green. It's got a greenish tail with like a purplish blue clear color at the top of it. But these are really good worms. I've caught a lot of bass off these. Pretty much year round. You can catch bass year round off these if you fish them in the right spot, of course. So, that would be my first worm right there that I would use. Pumpkin, I'm trying to pronounce the name, no, Cotton Candy. I'm sorry. I keep getting my worms mixed up because some of them do look very identical. But, this is Cotton Candy. So, like I said, Zoom makes these. These are the particular kind I've used, or that I like to use anyway, because they work really well, like I said. So, that's one that I like to use. Now, we're going to move on to the next one that I got. Alright, so next one we got is by Curlpit. You know, I don't know how you pronounce it right. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right. But anyways, you know what I'm talking about. But these are 7.5 worms. These are just regular black. Regular black. And these are really good as well. Especially if you got really stained water. If you got a dark water tint, wherever you're fishing at, these are really good to use. I'm going to take out, and like I said, it's just a plain black worm, 7.5. These work really well, especially in dirty water, like I said. And I love bouncing these things off a piece of bullet weight, about this long. It goes around on top. I love throwing it out there, especially on rock piles. You know, if you find a good rock pile, especially a rock point, if you find a good rock point, I like to flip it up there as far as I possibly can, and just pretty much bounce it off those rocks, pop it over those rocks, and just drag it real slow. And that's another thing you guys need to learn too. When you're out fishing with worms, don't be afraid to let the fish show you how they want their bait presented. That's the best tip I can give you as far as fishing with a rubber worm. Is let the bass show you how they want their bait presented. You know, if you're not getting anything with, you know, just pretty much throwing it out there, you can pretty much make it swim. You don't even have to let it sit on the bottom and pull it really slow. You don't even have to do that. You can swim it. Sometimes other techniques work better than others. That's the whole thing about it. So don't be afraid to experiment with y'all. I mean, sometimes the smallest difference could be a game changer. So don't be afraid to do it. Alright, so next one we got is by Zoom again, the company Zoom. And these are trick worms. These are a June bug color. This is an old pack, getting ready to run out. As you can tell, I do use these a lot. I think in the last video I filmed, matter of fact, this is what I was catching bass on when I was fishing that pond. So like I said, these worms work really good in ponds and at the lake. And I'm going to take it out. It's a trick worm. Like I said, it's not a U-tail, swirly tail, whatever you want to call it. It's like a blue, teal color. It's just a regular trick worm. Like I said, I like to take this worm right here and drag it across rocks, submerged brush, lily pads, anywhere where I think a bass might be held up at or a bass might be hanging around. But these are really good worms, like I said. And these are pretty tough, too. These worms are pretty tough. Trick worms are always kind of tough. So you can catch more fish off a trick worm. They'll last longer is what I'm saying. And these right here are one of the oldest worms that I've fished with for a long time. Like since I was probably around 11, 12. These right here were the go-to worms. Especially when we used to hit some of those old hidden ponds back in the woods. These right here were like the best to use. So go pick you some up. Alright, so next kind we got is by Curl Pit again. And these are pumpkin seed. I'm making sure I'm getting the name correct. But these are pumpkin seed color. This is awesome colors. They're real speckled, however you want to call it. But these are really good worms as well. Like I said, now my favorite size of worm that I like to use as far as not being too big and not being too small. I like to keep it natural. As I like to say, match the hatch, you know. So I'm going to take one of these worms out and let you look at it. And like I said, this is also a new pack of worms. So I'm having to open them. But this is what they look like right here. They're real clear looking. Speckled U-tails. They are really good worms. They move really good through the water. And you can swim them. You can make them move. You can drag them. However you want to do it. Whatever causes a reaction bite. And that's the great thing about worms. I love fishing worms. And everybody that knows that fishes with me, I always have a worm tied on one of my rods. I always have a rod rigged up for it. Always. So these are really good worms. And I've caught bass out the butt on these things. On ponds, lakes, especially in submerged brush. I don't know what it is about pumpkin seed, pumpkin seed worms, the color, because for some reason they just love it. And wherever the bass love, I love it. And like I said, these aren't really big worms. They're about mid-size. Like I said, they're 7.5s. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, I think you can. But these are 7.5 worms. They are really great. They work really good. They look good in the water. And I like using these on a bright, sunny day. These and the cotton candy. These and the cotton candy. This is the cotton candy right here. And this is the pumpkin seed right here. These two right here, they both work pretty good on a bright, sunny day. Especially throughout the summer, around toward the beginning of spring, April. Throughout June, July, you know, midsummer when it's really hot. These right here tend to be really great worms to use. So these two right here are pretty great to use. So go pick you some up, and hope you guys catch a lot of bass. Alright, so last but not least, these are also by Curl Pit. This is red shad. Now, these are awesome. Especially when bass are chasing bait fish throughout March. And they're starting to chase the bass. When they're starting to chase the bait fish, especially at the lakes, when they're chasing bait fish up into the creeks, the back of the creeks, and they're starting to pop the water, and you see bait fish coming to the top of the water. I like to use this color right here, red shad, especially when I'm going to them back of them creeks and I'm really out there fishing. And they seem to like this color at that time of year, so that's why I always keep these in my box. I'll take one out and let you look at it as well. Hold on a second. Alright, let's see. I ain't got too many left, to be honest. But this is what they look like right here. They're kind of red looking. They're blackish red looking. They're called red shad, like I said. And they are also U-tails. They're really great looking when they go through the water. They're really cool looking. And I also love fishing these around rocks. Especially docks too. Piers. I love taking this worm right here with a piece of boat weight and flipping as far as I can up under the docks. And trying to catch some of those bass that might be held up under there, catching a little bit of shade. They're trying to stay out of the sun, you know, and maybe bass are under there feeding on bluegill and whatever else may come by. So these are really great worms. I remember there was one pond this is all we used to fish with, was this kind of worm, because the red shad, and I don't know what it was about this worm, it was just crazy. The bass loved them. Like every time you cast out there, you either got a bite or you caught a fish. So, yeah. So, they're really great worms, y'all. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I appreciate you guys watching. And this was actually an awesome idea for a video, because I ain't never really thought about it. Sat down, actually, thought about it, because everybody knows I love to fish for rubber worms. Everybody does. So, these are the rubber worms. These are my go-to rubber worms. I know some people may be different, but this is what I fish with. And if you ain't ever tried one of these worms, wherever you fish at, your pond, the lake, wherever you're going, try some of these colors out. I mean, it may be a game changer. You guys may love some of these colors. But these are some of my favorite colors that I love to use where I'm fishing at the pond, lake, like I said. But, and they're not real expensive either. They're not. And they work well, and they're not real expensive. It sounds like a win-win, don't it? But, appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you guys next time. This is Reed's Outdoors, and I'll catch y'all next time.